and welcome to A Little Bit of Makeup and a Whole Lot of Jesus, where anything can happen on a Thursday morning. Okay, so you gotta laugh about it or you'll go a little crazy. So, my name is Wendy, and we are going to be doing a full face makeup tutorial and working on a Bible verse. We are continuing on in our book of James. So, this whole month of October, we are remembering those who have survived or those who are fighting breast cancer. And for me, that is remembering my great-grandfather who got breast cancer before it was even a thing that they thought about men being able to have it. And then ultimately it went to other parts of his body and he lost his life from that. So that is my story. And then I have other friends that have been touched by that as well. But he's the main person that I remember, my pop. So let's see. So we're going to be playing with pink today in, commemoration of that and in celebration of the find for a cure for breast cancer. And so just want to remind you while we are on here live that you can ask any question, whether it be something about the makeup that I'm doing or about a product that I'm using or something about the Bible verse. Maybe it's one that we've done in the past or the one that we're working on for this week. So whatever the case may be. Let's get on with it. What is our easy makeup theme today, Wendy? I will tell you. Our easy makeup theme today is how can I rock a youthful pink look that radiates inner joy? So we want the inside beauty to come out onto the outside beauty today, and that is what we are going to be doing. So grab your palettes, grab your lashes, grab your brushes, and then get on back here and let's get playing with some Power Pink today.
A little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. First days at pink, can't wait.
All right. Yay. Good morning. So, well, for you, not morning, but hello. Glad to have you with us today. So here is what we're going to be doing. We're going to go over a few preliminary things, and then we're going to jump on in. So our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And again, that's Psalm 119, verse 11. All right. And so I mentioned James chapter 3. So all of the verses that we're going to be doing are going to be coming from the book, Color Me James, available in 3 different formats. You can see there, we've got the eBook, which is the PDF. We have the paperback version, which is coming from Amazon. And then we have the spiral bound version, which you can get from my website. Just go to colormejamesbook.com and that will get you to the right place. So the verse that we worked on last week, I hope you enjoyed that song. In fact, let me get that song queued up for you because it was amazing. It starts out with the verse straight away. So here is the song that goes with our verse from last week.
Watch that tongue now. 'Cause even a tiger can be tamed before the tongue. This is scary, you can tame a tiger, but you can't tame a tongue. It's never been done, the tongue runs wild, a wanton killer. Wanton killer. Tame the tongue, oh, can you do it? Words got power, don't misuse it. Bless or curse what's in your song. Speak with love, don't get it wrong. With our tongues we bless God our Father. Oh, with the same tongues we curse the very men and women he made in his image. Tame the tongue, oh, can you do it? Words got power, don't misuse it. Bless or curse what's in you.
All right, so I'll let you listen to that, the rest of that on your favorite streaming platform. It did finally come out on Apple Music, Sometimes it just takes a minute. Apple runs a little bit slower than some of the other guys. So you can enjoy that on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever you're streaming your music, you can get that there. So enjoy that. Now, that last little line, I hear you asking, that last little line, curses and blessings out of the same mouth. That is actually in the bridge. So you'll have to listen through to the song to hear how that particular line plays out in the song. Okay, so let me get the chat turned back on here. I know, doesn't it? I like that. I like that. Yes, Mary J. Yes, definitely for sure. Oh my goodness. I've mentioned before that my mom and my dad helped me with this, and my mom said that after my dad heard it, she called it, he was jiving to it in his pastor office at church. So, well, actually, I think it was this time she said it was in his car. Anyways, however you turn it. So, I just love that that's something I get to share with my parents. So, our verse for this week, we are continuing on in James chapter 3. And so we're going to be going to, it's like the second half of verse 10. And this is the final verse in the part of chapter 3 that is talking about watching your mouth and like restraining and keeping track of, and lots of different metaphors and analogies about this. And my mom, when she heard the verse for this week, she was like, girl, how are you going to get the word brackish in that song? So wait till you hear this one come out. And this one kind of pulls it back just a little bit, throttles that beat and that rhythm back, but I think you're going to like it. Okay, so our verse for this week. Let's say it together. It's on your screen. My friends, this can't go on. A spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and brackish the next, does it? Apples don't bear strawberries, do they? Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? You're not gonna dip into a polluted mud hole and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? Okay, so that is going to round out our thought there. We're going to work on that verse all this week. We'll be saying it together as we go throughout our makeup tutorial today. So today we're going to be stepping into a new palette. You can see the picture there. So in this palette by UCANBE, we have got all of our contouring and we've got all of our shadow colors. So this is going to be super fun because everything's all in one place. So if you ever need a palette that's going to like do whatever for whatever you're wearing, maybe on a trip or whatever, this whole thing folds. Here, let me show you. This whole thing folds into just a little compact thing. So it is super awesome for travel. Plus, I just love their cosmetics. If you're ever doing like face painting or cosplay or anything like that, UCANBE definitely the brand to go to for those really intense pigmented colors that wear well and don't have a lot of fallout. Okay, so let us jump right in. The verse is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. We are going to start with some professional primer. Oh, we're just going to give that a little bit of shake this morning. And I don't think I said this, but go ahead and give me a shout out. Let me know where you're coming from. Every week I'm amazed at the different countries that I get to hang out with. And so give me a shout out. Let me know where you're coming from. We're just going to do those together. Any place that you have got fine lines, wrinkles, separation of foundation, you're just going to put that there. And this is going, especially around those lips. This is going to help your foundation to do, well, your makeup in general, do its job more effectively, wear better, give you an all-day look. You're going to love that. Okay, so the colors we're using for today, they're not like super bright, but we do want them to show up the way that they should be. So I'm going to use the Juvia's Place. This is the Eye Prep Eye Prime. This is the shade 1. There's several different colors of this. These are lighter colors we're playing with today. So whatever your skin tone is, this will be a great choice because it's going to really lift that area so that those colors can show through because they are a little bit lighter. Excuse me. Let me just get, okay, that was not planned. Let me give a little extra shake. There we go. Sometimes on these primers, you get just a little bit of separation. You do not want that. Okay, heads up here. Do you see that blob? that is entirely too much primer for your eyelid. So I'm gonna have to taper that down just a little bit. There we go. It doesn't take very much. Let me wipe that off on my tissue, which is very interesting because I'm wearing white pants today. Why is it that crazy things happen when you wear white? It's like seriously a magnet for any kind of accident that could possibly happen. Okay, we're just gonna tap that primer in. I know, it's crazy, right? White, the danger zone. Okay, here we go. So we're just gonna tap it doesn't need to be pretty because you're gonna cover it up with your makeup in a minute. So just get it on there. We're gonna let that dry a little bit. And I know I mentioned a couple times that I have been playing with the Lancome Tinted concealer. So we are actually going to use it today. However, I just dropped it. At least I got it before Wesley did. Okay, so the Lancome Tinted, this is the concealer. This is a full coverage concealer. It's not quite as thick or as full coverage to me as the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. But I like trying different things because you never know. I mean, you could end up with a new favorite. So let's go ahead. This one has like a nice little doe foot on it. So that one doe foot should be enough to do everything. So I'm just going to kind of glide it in place there. Get it right up underneath there. Get it in here because I've got some darkness that happens in here. There you go. And this can look like a crazy person, but you know, that's okay. I don't like to blend this out with a damp cosmetic sponge. In my experience so far, this has been better if you just do it with your finger. And unlike you don't have to wait for it to like warm up or anything. You can just start tapping it. I'm using my middle finger so that it is gentle. There's not a lot of tug on that soft area under my eye and around my eye. I'm going to go right up under the eye there. This is very lightweight. Unlike the which is a little bit on the thicker side, which is why you can use a damp cosmetic sponge and it works fine. This is very lightweight. So you're not going to get, or at least my experience hasn't been, any puddling under the eye. Like sometimes you can experience, especially if you have older skin, and you get that either like dry. Now, other thing though, I will say, if you have dry skin, this doesn't really have as much, I don't feel like it has as much moisture as the Bye Bye Under Eye does. So if you have dry skin, you might be better off with the Bye Bye Under Eye just because it's a little more hydrating and smooth to go on. So, you know, experiment, see what happens for you. All right, so we're gonna, speaking of Lancome, we're gonna be using the Tinted foundation. I am the shade 225N. We're just gonna give that a little bit of a shake there. I'm gonna grab my already dampened beauty blender. We're gonna use the wide end here. I'm just gonna give that one pump. There we go. We'll tap it out. We're just gonna blend it right up into, so with that one pump, I'm doing like my eyes down. We're just gonna blend that into that concealer. I don't know where that twang just came from. That was weird coming out of my mouth. All right. We're gonna go right into that hairline and then blend it down under the chin so that it's all nice and smooth. Making sure we get around our nostrils. I have like a little, right here in the cupid's bow, I have like a little bit of, I don't know, what would you call it? They're not really wrinkles. They're kind of like folds, I guess you'd call it. So when I do my makeup, I have to make sure that I really tap in there and catch that right there. We're going around the lips, so it's all the way to the edge. When we put our lipstick on, we don't got to worry about that. And once you have blended everything in, it's all nice and comfy cozy. We're going to do just a little bit on here, just a little partial pump. And that's going to do our forehead. So you can use a headband if you want. I just hold my hair up. We're going to get that on there. We're going to work that up to that hairline as well. Right down into that concealer. as it's a damp sponge, you can just kind of go over your eyebrows. It doesn't really affect anything there. Right on that tip of that nose, making sure we're blending out that redness. Okay. I'm just going to go one last time under the eye just to make sure everything is all nice and smooth. And now we have our foundation on. So you can go ahead and set that aside. I am still loving and using the Good Morning. Got you in here. Good morning. Got a couple of shout outs. So nice to see you with us this morning. We are just getting ready to set our I didn't show you what this is. Hey, there we go. This is the MAC Studio Fix setting powder. We're just going to grab that, open that lid. I've got the puff that comes in it already. You just press that bad boy in. It puts that powder on there for you. We're going to go under the eye first. There you go. You just tapping that in and then pressing that down. And I know I've talked about this before, but this does come in, while this is a translucent and kind of a clearish white color, they do have different tones of this. So, find the one that matches you, get to your nearest Ulta, Sephora. I don't know if actually Sephora carries this, but, or MAC counter. And you can try that out, see which one works best for you, for your skin tone, for the pigment that God blessed you with. All right, so once we've got that all tapping it there around the lips, let me just go under here one more time. There we go. Okay, now we are all set. We are ready to do some contouring. So we're gonna play with this palette here. This is the UCANBE, and this one literally unfolds into a vast array of colors. So in this center right here, we've got the top and the bottom has our contouring. So today we're going to be living in the top ones here. So I am going to grab my It Cosmetics. This is a dual-ended foundation brush. We're going to go into this one right here, just right there on the side. Swipe that a couple times. We're going to go from the ear in a curved motion to about the corner of the eye, staying above the hollow of the cheek. Ooh, I like. It is called, great question. So the question is, the name, the brand, and it is called UCANBE. I'll put a link to that in the show notes so that you can get directly to the product. Actually, it's on, I'm pretty sure I posted it last night on the website already. So if you go to, you can either do Makeup and Jesus or a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Either one of those will get you to the same place. It should be right there on that homepage, and that'll be a link for you so you can get straight to it. Okay, so we're going to keep on this. We're just going to use that side one more time. And we're going to go right up here against that hairline. So I know better than to use new palettes on air, but guess what? That's what we're doing. So things I like about this is it's not chalky. It's not creamy. It's just kind of a nice, pleasant powder. So I appreciate that. I'm just going to go in this one right here with the tip of that. And I'm just going to catch that outside right there just a little bit. That's a nice color. Okay, so then I am going, here, let me, if I can get my brush in there. There we go. I'm going to grab a blush brush and we're going to go in this one right here. I don't really know what to expect, so I'm just going to give it 2 swipes until I'm familiar with how pigmented it is. We're going to go right on the top, kind of overlapping. Woo, yeah, that's some good pigment. Right there on that top, overlapping with that bronzer. And then right there in the middle. I'm just going to do 1 swipe. kind of a partial swipe. Let's go up here. Just give a little color right here, right here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That was a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to go into this one right here. This is our highlighter. It's got like a little tinge of a shimmer in it. I'm using my Anastasia highlighter brush. We're just going to give it a couple of swipes there. We're going to go right on the top of that cheek. Oh, yeah, that's nice. And then right beside that eye socket. Oh, yeah. Can you see that shimmer? It's like a little bit, but not too much. It's very pleasant. So this one you could use, I feel it's a good day or night. We're just going to go right up the center there, hitting that ball. Right here, hitting that Cupid's bow. Ooh, nice. I am digging that. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Boop, boop. Let's go right here. I got all excited about the about the new palette. There we go. Yeah, I've used a couple. So the brand UCANBE, I've used a couple of other palettes that they had. When we did the green one, I don't know, 2 months ago or something, we did another palette by them. And everything that I have used so far wears really well. So we're going to set that up for just a minute. And let's get our lips going. Hold on, let me scroll down on this. Actually, before we do that, we're going to say our verse together. Okay, so it is scrolling around on the bottom of the screen. Let's wait till it comes back around. Okay, there's the tail end of it. So I'll wait till it gets to the middle so we're all in the same place at the same time. Here we go. Okay, my friends, this can't go on. A spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and brackish the next, does it? Apple trees don't bear strawberries, do they? Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? You're not going to dip into a polluted mud hole and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? James 3:10-12. And so I think, I look forward to, we shift gears a little bit next week and we go more towards, rather than, think about this, about the tongue, we switch to, okay, now we know this. Now we know we don't have control of it. What do you do now? So that's where we're going to be next week. Some practical advice, some wisdom of what to do now that you know your tongue is a problem. Okay, so lips. We're going to be using the NYX retractable lip liner. And this is in, I think it's in hot pink. Yeah, hot pink. So we're going to do that one. We're going to be a little gentle with the lining today. We do want it to give us a little bit of an outline, but we're going to not make it be like a liney line. We just want it sort of a little invisible because we're using a matte color that's a little bit more pale. Okay, so going to start out in that Cupid's bow. There you go. And then we're going to round that out to the outside edge, staying just on the outside of that lip. So your sense of feel should be saying, hey, you're coloring on the outside just a little bit. Then you know you're in the right space. Okay, let's do the other side. There you go. Now we're going to do the bottom, start in that bottom center. And then round that out to the outside edge. Again, you're staying just to the outside on both the top and the bottom. Now I want to make sure that I don't get like a liney line. So I'm going to go back with that pencil and just feather it a little to the inside of those lines. There you go. Now we can set that aside and let's grab our MAC. This is our, what is this called? Amplified Creme lipstick, and this is Saint Germain. And Saint Germain is just a nice, you're going to get a little bit of a glossy look on this. It's a little more pale than what you get with the Candy Yum Yum, not so much pop to it, but it's going to really play well with the eyeshadows we're doing today. So we're going to start out in that Cupid's bow. There you go. You can see that's just a nice pink. And let's do the bottom now. All right. And then because this is part of their creme line, I don't know that you actually need to roll the R, but that was fun. It's not going to really give you an all-day wear. I mean, it'll kind of hang tight, but this isn't going to be like if you wear one of their matte lipsticks. So wherever you go, you're going to want to take one with you so that you can touch up when you eat, or if you're a talker after you've talked for a little bit of time. Okay, so we already have our eyes prepped and primed and ready to go. So let's grab that Pretty All Set 2. On Amazon, it calls it B, just so you know. Follow the link, though. It'll get you to the right place. So here's where we're going to be today. So we already used these right up here. So we're going to be in this right here. I'm just going to use a basic light. I think let's do this one right here. So that's just going to be up on the top of the brow. So pick something kind of fleshy color for whatever your color of skin is. Lots of choices here in the fleshy colors. So we're going to do that just on the very top. That'll give us something to blend into. And then we're going to be hanging out. Let me actually open this up. Then we're going to be hanging out over here. So we're pretty much going to use almost everything in this. Oh, there we go. Almost everything in this yellow column right here we'll be using. And then we're going to take a little dip into this right here. So this is our pink. That is what we're going to be playing in. So pink, a little bit of the yellows, and then that accent color right there. So that is going to play nicely with the liner that we're going to be using right here from NYX as well. So let us just grab a fluffy brush. That's going to be this one right here. This is a Morphe M433. We're just going to go in this non-color color right here. Just get it right on the tip. And that's going to go right up here on the top of your eye right there. Right underneath, nestle it right up underneath your brow. That's just going to give you something to blend into. And so whatever your skin color is, you're going to find something about that color. What is that little stray over there? There we go. Okay, now I'm going to grab let's do... Hold on just a minute. Let me get that chat turned back on. There you go. Okay. I'm going to start out with this right here. This bad guy. This is a Morphe M321. Just kind of a fluffy blender. So this will work nice with the pink that we're going to be using today. So we're actually going to lay the pink down first. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to get that tip right in here. Just going to get it right on the very tip of that. We're going to go on the inside of the eye. On the outside of the eye, we're going to leave that center empty. And then we're going to take that brush right there on the tip. And just under where you can feel your socket bone, you're going to connect this side to that side. Just right there. And again, we're just leaving that middle part open. You don't need to worry about blending or doing anything just yet. So one thing is that I mentioned these are pigmented, so you do not want to overload your brush. You are going to be better off putting little amounts and repeating than you are trying to overload and try to get a whole bunch done at one time. That's not going to turn out so well for you. Okay. There we go. Now we look a little crazy, but that's okay. We've been here. We know how this works. So that's gonna set down our pink color that we're gonna have for today. Now I'm gonna grab I think let's do just a nice angle brush. I know I was talking to Rachel, who's on here with us, talking yesterday about how we love these angle brushes. So we're gonna play with that angle brush a little. We're gonna take it, we're gonna go in this orange right here first, just get it on the face of that brush, and just like one little, we don't want like a whole bunch, we just want like a little bit. Right where right over the edge of where that pink is meeting that fleshy color, you're just gonna kind of put that there and go back and forth just a smidge. Oh, I just did that in the wrong color. Let's try to stay with the palette, Wendy. There we go. Just right here where the pink, we're just gonna put that color there where those two meet. And then I'm turning that brush sideways and I'm just going back and forth over that right there. And that's just going to soften that edge. And I'm just going to stay in that same color. I'm just going to dust it off a little bit. I'm going to go in this yellow right here. We're going to get it just on the face of that. And let's go right up here. Right where that orange meets that fleshy color. And we're just going to do that same blending technique right up here. Right where those two colors meet, just back and forth. That's going to give you a nice little graduation. If you feel like you need to step in that, Wesley has a toy back here. If you are hearing that, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to do that. There we go. I'm going to grab the fluffy brush where I started, and I'm just going to make sure that the top up here is nice and clean. So I'm just going to dip it in there. There we go. I'm going to take my fluffy. Any fallout, just get rid of that. Now I'm going to take let's just do, this one is a blender, a smudger, but it's a little taller than the one that we used under the eye. This one is a Morphe M213. So you can see it's a little bit taller than the other one. We're going to go in that same yellow that we just used. We're only going to get it on one side of that brush, and we're going to fill that void right here. Just get it in the middle. Don't worry about blending or anything just yet. Just put it there. And now that you've got that there and it's all nice and clean, now we're going to take that same brush and we're just going to go where the pink, you might need to dip into the pink a little bit, but where that pink meets that yellow, you're just going to go over that spot and blend that out nicely. So we're just going to end up with a little bit of blend here. If you need to go back into the yellow, go back into the yellow. And you're just going to go back and forth on the edges to get a nice blend. There we go. Now we're going to do a little something in just a minute. There we go. Let's just get that. There we go. It's going to give us a little bit of pop right there on that yellow spot, but we need that nice and clean and yellow first. There we go. So there's what you got so far, and that's working with just what we've got on the top. So now let's do something on the bottom, and then we'll come back and do that little bit of touch. So I'm going to grab a smudger. This is the one I was mentioning was a little bit shorter. This one is the Morphe N, oh my word, I think it's 508. And we're going to go in this accent color right here, this one right here. You're just going to get it on the tip of that brush, and we're going to go under the eye with that. So it's going to go from one side to the other. Same thing on the other side. Okay, So I want to give a little blend out. So now I'm going to get it on the side of that brush, and we're going to just cover over that area a little bit. You're just going to go back and forth on there a little bit. And that's going to give it a nice blend out. Now I want to make sure that this is going all the way up into my lashes because of what we're getting ready to do on that waterline. So just make sure you've got that shadow all the way up into those lashes. It'll blend out a little bit, but we just want to make sure that we're covered good. Okay, so now that we've got that, we are going to grab from last week. Let me close this palette up. I'm going to grab that Super Shock that we used. I think it was last week. It might have been a week before. This is ColourPop Super Shock Shadow, and this is Tankini. If you haven't used this before, these are super fun. They're really better for pops of color than they are for like a whole shadow kind of thing, but you can use it for a whole shadow. Okay, I'm going to go back to that Morphe M213 we were using. I'm just going to dust it off a little bit because it had yellow on it anyways. We're going to take that Super Shock. We're going to get it just on one side. And we're going to go right here on the inside corner with that. Okay, maybe that will work. There we go. Maybe my Super Shock is a little outdated. There we go. And we're just going to give that Super Shock right there in the inside. And then I'm going to take it, get it on that side there, and I'm going to bring it up just a little bit right here. Just like a little teeny, like it's going up to that upper yellow we blended. And then I'm going to use my finger for this. I'm going to put my finger, get it on the tip, and just put it right there on that. We just want like a little bit of shimmer right there. Not too much, just a smidge. Okay, now I promised we were going to do something with that beautiful aqua green is the call of it. Some of you might call it turquoise. But this is a NYX retractable liner, and this is in the shade of aqua green. So we're going to take this, and we're going to go in our waterline right here with that. Oh, contact right out. Okay. And this is why I said that we needed that shadow going all the way up to that lash line. Okay, I think I can't see. Let me grab my mirror. I was trying to do it without the magnifier. Okay, there we go. And we're just getting it on that waterline all the way from the one side to the other side. Okay, let me get any of this. So here's what we've got. We got a little shimmer. We got a nice color. We got some yellow on the inside. We've got that beautiful aqua on the bottom. Let us go ahead and do our liner on the top. Actually, let's go ahead and do the, we're going to do the water line up on the top. There we go. And now we're going to do the liner. We're going to use that Too Faced Better Than Sex liquid eyeliner. We're just going to give a nice, clean, smooth line up there on that top edge. So we're going to go from one side all the way to the other. Just a nice clean line. Same thing on the other side. All right. Make sure that goes all the way down to the lashes. I got that one little, there we go, there we go, there we go. I had one little spot that was not cooperating. Okay, so now we have a nice clean line for our lashes to go on. We're gonna, I don't know why the line always seems, you know what, it looks like, it looks like it's a little thicker on that side. I feel like this is one of those bad TikTok shows where the girl tries to do a winged liner and then it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And next thing you know, she's got a wing going all the way up to her forehead. Okay, so we're going to do our brows now. So whatever your brow product of choice is, today I'm using the Lime Crime Bushy Brow, and this is the shade, I did it again. This is the shade Anime. You know, I got a 50-50 shot of getting the right end when I pop the cap off, and I don't think I've gotten the right end yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and do your brow product. I'm just going to give some light flicks here. Give it a little bit of a tail. I'm going to go over that just a little bit so that I have, you know, a little extra brow, a little brow at all. There we go. And I'm going to bring it over a little bit because my brows are kind of far apart. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do that same thing, theoretically, on the other side. Here we go. We're just going to follow that brow around. There we go. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. Leslie, what have you got for goodness sake? I think he's brought in his big, what is that? What is that? Sock puppet. That sock puppet. Oh my gosh. From channel 13, the what do you call public television? Angie? No. You know, I can't think of his name. Lamb Chop. That's it. I think he's got his giant lamb chop behind me. Okay, now I'm going to grab this side and we're just going to fluff out those brows, kind of soften the lines that we did a little bit. If you're going to use a brow setter, then you'll want to go ahead and do that here. You can probably do that and bypass this step altogether because most of the time the brow setters are applied with a brush kind of thing. I'm going to grab my little fluffy brush, just make sure nothing decided to try to set up house while we were doing that. There we go. And we're trying a new mascara. Well, I've actually been using it for about a week. And so I've really enjoyed this. This is the Fenty Hella Thick. And this is, I think the color is called 'Cause I'm Black. So that's the mascara that we're using. And honestly, this is such a nice volumizing mascara. You can probably get away with not even doing false lashes as long as your lashes are not like too ridiculously short. But this is, I mean, it's just a beautiful volumizing mascara. I've been super excited. So I'm going to grab my Tweezer Man Onyx Great Grip Eyelash Curler. And we're going to get ready to, wow, that came out nice, didn't it? Good pink. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to set up for our lash curling. So that's going to go right here with your lashes between those two things. You're going to crimp, you're going to push down. When you do, you want to make sure you're not getting any pinching on your eyelid. If you feel any pinching at all, then release it and pull it out just a little bit. And we're going to use our Bible verse as a timer for our lash curling today. So we're going to wait till it kind of rolls around to the beginning. There we go. And, you know, we're talking about water. So literally it's like rolling down the river. Okay, just kidding. Here we go. Okay, so find your sweet spot. There we go. My friends, you can't go on. Let's see. This can't go on. A spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and brackish the next, does it? Apple trees don't bear strawberries, do they? Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? You're not going to dip into a polluted mud hole and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? And that's James chapter 3, 10 through 12. Here we go. Same thing on the other side while we're in timing with that verse scrolling across. Here we go. Okay, my friends, this can't go on. A spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and brackish the next, does it? Apple trees don't bear strawberries, do they? Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? You're not going to dip into a polluted mud hole and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? And that's James 3, 10 to 12. And the answer is no, you're not. Now, in different versions of that verse, you'll see different fruits listed. There's some fig references and things like that. We don't really have figs over here. So when he did the Message, he put it into, fruits that we would be familiar with. So that is part of what the Message was about, was doing a paraphrase, putting things into common terms now times. So we're just going to give one coat of this. There you go. Same thing on the other side. We're going to make sure we're going all the way from one side to the other with this. Just use that tip of that mascara wand to get all in there. And this is just going to help our lashes to blend in better with those false lashes, which are usually just such a beautiful dark black color. I have seen a couple of brown ones here lately. But by and large, that's not the normal what you're going to be finding. What you're going to be finding is going to be black lashes. So that will help them to blend in. Now, our bottom lashes are not getting falsies, so we're going to want to do those just like regular, just like you would like normal. So we're going to go from root to tip here. And we do have that nice aqua green on our water line. So just make sure you don't do anything messy up in there. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. You see that yellow right there on the inside of that eye? There you go. Okay, same thing on the other side. And I have found this to be a beautiful water-resistant formula. I have cried in it and nothing interesting happened. I have accidentally rubbed my eye because I'm an eye rubber and nothing happened. I mean, don't push it, but I have been pleasantly surprised with how this mascara wears. It's kind of I think the premise behind this one is going to be not one stroke does it all for you. It is going to be like eyeshadow, multiple strokes get you to the volume that you want. So you're gonna need to do like 2, maybe 3 coats of mascara, which, I mean, it only takes a second, but then you get a nice, clean, smooth eyelash from that. Most of the ones where you're gonna do like a 1 coat and then you're done is kind of goopy. So yeah, that's the technical term, goopy. So you're gonna do that same thing with this. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and do those bottom lashes one more time with that Fenty mascara. Just because I like them to balance nicely with the volume that's on the top. And then let's go ahead and do the other side as well. Make sure you go all the way from one side to the other. And I see a little, there you go, a little gold fleck right there. So today we are going to be wearing the Juvia's Place. This is the Zaria. This is a flared lash. Last week I showed how to do, oh, it's kind of falling. Whoop. This is a flared lash. I showed last week how to do a trim and put those on. So go catch episode 26 if you want to know how to do a fresh new lash installation application. Okay, there you go. So we're going to grab that lash from the outside edge there. Just get that off that tray, set it down in front of you. Same thing. Start out with the wide edge. Well, oops. There we go. There we go. Don't tug too hard. You don't want to ruin your lashes now. Okay, I am just going to hold that lash in my hand. I'm going to grab my lash adhesive, which is this right here, which is the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. Has aloe in it. I don't know that I'd call them sensitive eyes, but they're probably sensitive compared to some. And I love that this particular adhesive, I haven't had any kind of anything to it. No reaction, no itching, no nothing. So I'm going to grab my lash. Doesn't matter which one. Just remember which one went first. I'm going to grab that right there in the center. We're going to give that adhesive a little shake because it feels like the thing to do. And we're going to put it on the top of that band right here. You'll see when it goes on, it's white and shiny. And then when it sets up, it's going to get a little less shiny and it'll start to get a little bit clear. So we're going to make sure we pay special attention to those outside corners. So just give you an extra little bubble right there. And then we're going to set that down in front of us. We're going to grab the other lash that we have. Oops. Hold on, just kidding. I got a little adhesive on the lash tool itself. Okay, so we're going to go in, get that lash adhesive right there on the top of that band. And we're going to get it right on that back side of that band. We're going to make sure that we pay special attention to those outside corners so they definitely have coverage. And that's what's going to, those are like the anchors for keeping that lash on all day. Because once I put them on, man, I don't want to mess with my lash during the course of the day. You want it to just go on and be there and just stay, and you don't got to think about it. You just look beautiful all day long. So that is how we're going to do that. So usually it takes about 30 seconds for that lash adhesive to dry down just enough for you to be able to use it. If you put the lash on and it feels kind of cold and wet, then you probably didn't wait long enough. Not really a big deal, but sometimes it can keep it from getting put there and then staying there. Sometimes you got to play with it just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the lash that I did the adhesive on first. I'm going to grab that right in the middle. You can see this is the shorter end, so that's going to go on the inside here. I'm going to put it right on that eyeliner line that we did, right up against my lashes. And then we're going to put the inside edge right on that eyeliner line, outside edge. Guess what? Right on that eyeliner line. There we go. We're just going to make sure. Kind of pressing it down right above where the lash is meeting that liner. And this one's getting a little on right. There we go. I need you to be right there. Okay. So you can see the difference between the two sides with the lash, without the lash. Without the lash, you can see a couple of things. First thing is, it sort of takes away from the intensity of the eyeshadow just a little bit because the lash is like blocking your view to it. So that's kind of nice. You can be a little more bold with your shadow if you're wearing false lashes. The other thing is it just really opens up that eye compared to the other side. So a few things that they do for you. So I'm going to set that one down right here, right on that liner line. I'm going to put the inside corner down. There we go. Outside corner. Gonna make sure everybody is in the right piece. Just pressing down, make sure everybody's being nice. I'm not sure what that little thing is. I don't think I like that. So I'm going to grab my little smudger and that color pop thing. I don't know if I got a little adhesive there or what, but we're just gonna, whoops, that's the wrong one. Here we go. We're just gonna fix that little color dodge right there. I think I got a little adhesive on it and it transferred the color of that gold color. Okay, there we go. So now we have our lashes on, we have our makeup done, and we want this to stay all day, right? We don't want to play with this. So we're going to take our Juvia's Place Ready, Set, Sealed. We're going to give it a shake. We're going to spray it down. And now you are good to go for the rest of the day. So we're just going to let that setting spray do its thing while we review our Bible verses. We're just going to do chapter 3 this week. So let me get over to that. Okay, there we go. So, there we go. So, chapter 3, James, chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. Don't be any rush to become a teacher, my friends. Teaching is highly responsible work. Teachers are highly responsible work. Oh, teachers are held to the strictest standards, and none of us is perfectly qualified. We get it wrong nearly every time we open our mouth. If you find a person whose speech is true, you have... Oh gosh, I'm going to get the words mixed up. If you have found someone whose speech is true, you have found a perfect person in perfect control of their life. I think that's how it went. Okay. All right. Yes, Anthea, so true, so true. Lashes really do make a difference. So we'll talk about that in just a minute, though. Let's finish with our verses, and then we'll talk about that. Okay, so this song was called Bit and Rudder. I like this one. Bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain helps, captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. Okay, there we go. It only takes a spark, remember, to set off a forest fire. A careless or wrongly placed word out of your mouth can do that. By our speech, we can ruin the world, turn harmony into chaos, throw mud on a reputation, send the whole world up in smoke, and go up in smoke with it. Right from smoke, right from the pit of hell. And then last week's verse, this is scary. You can tame a tiger, but you can't tame a tongue. It's never been done. The tongue runs wild, a wanton killer. With our tongues, we bless God, our Father. With the same tongues, we curse the very men and women that he made in his image. Curses and blessings come out of the same mouth. And then the verse that we have for today. My friends, oh, hold on. I'm not going to know this one as well. Hold on. My friends, this can't go on. A spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and brackish the next, does it? Apple trees don't bear strawberries, do they? Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? You're not going to dip into a polluted mud hole and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? And that concludes where we are with the first part of chapter 3. So again, all of these are coming from Color Me James. You can see what we've got right there. And actually this week we have a crossword puzzle just like that. So you got a crossword puzzle and then a coloring page in addition to all the journaling things. Now, if you really want to stay on top of this and be on the game or get the ebook for free, you can do the Beauty and Grace Insider. So we got 3 different levels for that. There's loyalty badges. If you're on YouTube and you've seen any of those funky emojis, those are the Beauty and Grace Insiders. And so they get a special set of custom emojis. And then every, milestone that you hit, whether it be time, whether it be how many likes or how many comments, you get special emojis opened up for you just because of that. So, and then there's also some free coloring pages, phone wallpapers, all this kind of good fun stuff. All right, so and I forgot to say, The Cherish Queen level comes with the ebook for free. So you can get in there and do that. And I really appreciate your supporting this ministry and this, gosh, I want to say fun time because it is fun. Talking about Jesus, talking about Bible verses, and getting to play with makeup. What better thing could there be? Okay, so let me send you out with a blessing this week. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how thankful I am for each one of these women that have hung out here live with me and the ones that will watch this later on in a recording, or I think there's also some audio versions hanging out there. So I just pray that you would bless them this week, that you would help us to take all these words of James into our heart, that we would not just hear them and let them go in one ear and out the other, as he talks about in chapter 2, but that we would actually take them, we would listen to them, we would mull them over, we would see where we fall into this imagery that you have given us. And then what are we going to do about it? Now we know that the mouth is a wanton killer. Now we know that taming a tiger is easier than taming the tongue. So now what are we going to do about it? Show us what we're going to do about it. Show us how we can apply these words in our life and give us grace and peace as we do that. Father, again, I just send them out with a blessing this week. And thank you so much for this time together with these beautiful women. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Well, it has been a delight to hang out with you here this week. I look forward to seeing you throughout the week on social media. I look forward to hearing about your crossword puzzle and your coloring pages. Better yet, shoot me a comment, show me a picture. I would love to see it. And what palette did you use? How did your look come out today? Shoot me a picture of that too. I would love to celebrate that with you. If you're a little bit shy, you can shoot me a DM. No matter what platform you're on, they just about all have a DM option. And so go ahead and do that. I think Instagram's probably the easiest. But wherever you are, do that there. On YouTube, you can leave lots of comments, but just yet you can't leave any photo comments. So, but we will enjoy that platform because it's definitely one of the best for viewing the podcast and going back. Oh, also tip, I wanted to tell you. So I know that our videos are like an hour 15 minutes long. So if you're doing your makeup and you just want to, kind of go through and not spend an hour doing that, you can on YouTube put it on a faster replay. Like most of the time when I'm watching a training tutorial video thing about anything, I play it at like 1.25, 1.5. So if you want to do that, my words aren't particularly important. You're just watching the motions, speed it up a little bit. And that way you can still get all the information, but not have to maybe like hear my voice as much. Okay, so it has been a delightful time with you. I look forward again seeing you throughout the week on social media. Mwah! I love you. Have a blessed week this week.